My name is Pramsu, and I think youth education and mental health are both very important topics. Youth education is important because even though children's brains are still growing, they learn much faster than adults, making it an important time for them to start their education. Mental health is important because it contributes to our basic functioning just as much as physical health does, except that the stigma around mental health makes people afraid to speak up about their own mental health. Overall, mental health is something that we shouldn't be afraid to speak up about, and we need to make sure that our kids are getting the education they need and they're getting their education started at a young age.
Hi, my name is Christina Tiwari, and I believe youth education and mental health awareness are both important factors in shaping a healthy and successful future for our young generation and beyond. Through education, the youth will be able to develop a strong foundation for themselves by developing skills, interests they want to pursue in the future, and self-confidence. Alongside education, mental health is also very important in building confidence and being able to be vulnerable in many situations. At a young age, it's very, very important to have a safe environment for any child to express themselves and not feel like they have to hold things inside and bear through it. Also, I believe this is very important because in the Nepali community, I feel like mental health isn't talked about enough or even thought as a problem, which needs to change, because if children are taught from a young age that their feelings aren't a big deal, it creates a very bad habit that will affect them in the future. By advocating both youth education and mental awareness, we can create a society where we all feel empowered, supported by one another, and can grow and be successful in our futures. With that being said, I believe both of these strong awarenesses and causes are very important for our youth now and in the future.
Education shapes our future. It opens doors, creates opportunities, and helps us grow. What we don't talk about enough is the role mental health plays in that journey. When students struggle with stress, anxiety, or burnout, learning becomes quite a battle. It's not just about grades, it's about feeling supported, understood, and valued. Balancing education and mental health is not easy, but it is necessary. A healthy mind helps students think creatively, stay motivated, and truly absorb what they learn. Imagine a world where students don't just survive school, but they thrive in it, where education isn't just about memorization, it's about growth both academically and emotionally. That's the kind of future that we should be looking towards.
My name is Titi Dungana, and I will be talking about the stigma behind mental health and coping skills you can do to help deal with that. First off, what is a stigma? A stigma is a type of stereotype set out by society, typically made up by rumors or assumptions about those said mental illnesses, or anything. Some examples may include depression. People think that people with depression are lazy, not hardworking, and just don't want to try in life, when in reality, that's not how depression works. It's a chemical imbalance in the brain. They don't choose to have it, they don't want to have it. Nobody should want to have depression, but it's absolutely debilitating and hard to deal with in life. Another example is anxiety. Anxiety is a disorder that typically causes a lot of stress, overthinking, and a lot of worry. People don't want to have anxiety, but people always assume that they overthink too much or worrying about the little things and telling them to brush it off as if it's something easy that they can control. Some things you can do, or coping mechanisms, can be talking with loved ones, talking with people. Overall, just journaling and venting out your emotions. It helps you to process your emotions so you're not bottling it up. It makes it more easier for you to manage. It also makes it physically easier for your body to manage. Too much stress and overall negative emotions can impact your body because it makes you overthink and it works your body over time. Remember, you can always reach out. It's not anything shameful or anything. It makes you a very brave person if you're honest. Thank you.
Adolescents mostly have conflicts with the people around them, and sometimes even themselves. It is a hard and awkward phase, but everyone eventually faces it. Some people have gone as far to say that adolescence is a war. No one gets out unharmed. Adolescence can make teenagers feel less confident about themselves. It may cause them to feel insecure about their appearance. Some adolescents can become insecure about themselves when they have acne and think their skin has betrayed them and it keeps breaking out in acne. They don't like how their skin has pimples and wish it was clear and perfect like others. Some people wear braces before others, and they feel like the odd one out because not a lot of people have braces. They don't want to be seen as weird because of their braces. Some teens don't think that they have good clothes to wear to school and only want ones that make them fit in. They want to look good in school and have a good appearance so they don't stick out like a sore thumb. Adolescence is a time when teenagers can feel insecure about themselves and pick themselves apart because of it. They put themselves down because they are constantly worrying about how they look. They can pick themselves apart about their flaws just because they weren't invited to a party or a hangout. They doubt about how they look and wish they looked better and were cooler. Adolescence is a time when teenagers can put themselves down because of insecurities. They think that they need to look perfect, and then if they look bad, people will judge them for it. In fact, nobody is perfect and no one is flawless. We can all feel comfortable in our skin, and we can all look perfect and confident. If we feel confident about ourselves, nobody can pick us apart.